Alright, so today's video I want to compare Isolite's single-use mouthpieces to DryShield's new single-use mouthpieces. DryShield's always had a autoclavable version. They've had it for a few years now, but they just came out with a single-use mouthpiece, so I'm going to compare the two. Isolite has had a name change. They're now Zyris. I think I'm saying that correctly, but I'm just going to call it Isolite in this video because that's what I know it as. Alright, so let's start with price. I'm going to use retail price just to keep it consistent. Obviously, you know, both companies offer deals with bulk and at shows and whatever, but just to keep it the same, we'll just go retail. So retail, Isolite per mouthpiece is $275, DryShield is $250. So DryShield is a little bit better on the price as far as retail goes. That 25-cent difference will make a difference over time if you're using, you know, these things every day. Sizes, Isolite comes in 6 sizes, so it definitely, and DryShield comes in 4 sizes. So Isolite definitely has a wider range of sizes. So they're a little bit better on the size thing. DryShield has 4. The range is pretty good, but compared to Isolite, it's a little bit less. I've heard they're going to come out with a 5th size, so that would be nice. So the tongue retractor. So I got the 2 mouthpieces here. This is a DryShield large, and this is Isolite medium DV. I'm comparing these two because they're about the same size. The Isolite large is bigger than the DryShield large. So this is the part of the mouthpiece. It's a tongue retractor. You know, same thing on the Isolite. So I would say retraction is about the same as far as performance on both mouthpieces. So that they're about even on that. So price, DryShield's a little bit better. Sizes, Isolite's a little bit better. Tongue retractor, it's about the same. The cheek retractor, which is this part of the mouthpiece right here, is Isolite. DryShield. Again, they're about even. You know, they do a good job retracting the cheek. Yeah, so that's about even on that. So the suction power, the actual power itself, when both mouthpieces are working well, the suction is about the same because you're getting the same vacuum from the HVE, basically. But with DryShield, for me at least, the suction is like a little more reliable, and I'll show you why. I'm going to show you in the camera here up close, so hopefully you can get to see it. But if you see that where the flaps here meet, both mouthpieces have these flaps on the side. When I squeeze with my finger, you still get suction there. You can see all the holes. So even when you get pressure from the tongue, the suction keeps going basically, right? So it's more reliable in a sense. You see with the Isolite here, sometimes when the patient's pushing against their tongue is pushing against the flaps here, and these can get pinched like this. Sometimes I lose the suction around, say, like the lingual side of the lower molars. And as a hygienist, I do sealants with these things, and when that happens, it doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it's a little stressful because you want to keep a dry field. But overall, both work, you know, very well. But as far as suction, I would just say DryShield is a little bit better because it's a little more reliable. I want to talk about also one other thing. Because this is a little bit thicker and it maintains that suction, the Isolite is a little bit thinner than the DryShield. So you do lose a little bit of room with the DryShield. It's not much at all. But I mean, it is there. It's maybe like a millimeter or whatever. It's not much. So I'll talk about compatibility. This is the good thing about the DryShield mouthpieces is if you have an Isolite system already, Isolite, IsoDry, IsoVac, if you have a cone adapter 2.0 that's designed for the Isolite mouthpieces, you can use those systems on the DryShield mouthpiece. so you don't have to buy a DryShield. All right, so I'll show you examples here. So this is the DryShield mouthpiece, and this is the IsoVac, right? So it slides in pretty nicely. You can see the hooks fall into that hole. Obviously it's not perfectly designed for that, but it works. So if you have an IsoVac or any Isolite system, it works. So if you want to try these DryShield mouthpieces, you're good to go. So then I have the Cone Adapt 2.0 minus the tubing. I just threw it in there. Same thing, boom, see? Get the camera there. So you can see the two hooks fall into the hole. It works fine. Whereas if you have a DryShield, depending on the Isolite system, it doesn't really work. See, it's too big. I mean, it's too small. It just doesn't hook well. So that's a good thing about the DryShield. So with that said, both systems are very good. I recommend both systems. Me personally, I prefer the DryShield a little bit more because three main things. The suction is more reliable, like I said. Like around that lower molar, it's just more consistent, less stress on me, right? The bite block is more firm. It's not like a rock or anything. I mean, I can still squeeze it, right? And the Isolite's a little more soft. Let me see. So you can really. So sometimes the patient, especially kids, they'll smash these things down. So you get a little more, I guess, compliant with the DryShield. So I like that part. And the third thing is this, you need less patient compliance because obviously we all know patients don't comply well sometimes, well enough while we're working on them. So with the DryShield, because you have these, like that, a little bit better suction on the edge here, if the patient's not biting down, which happens a lot, they're not biting down enough, you still get decent suction on the DryShield. Whereas the Isolite, I mean, it's not bad or anything, but you definitely get less suction with this design if the patient's not biting down all the way. So those are the three reasons why I prefer DryShield, but like I said, Isolite's excellent system, DryShield's excellent system, so either one you'd be happy with. So that's it for the review. If you have any questions, you can throw them down on the video, below the video. If you want to check out the DryShield mouthpieces and systems, you can go to DryShield.com. If you want to check out Isolite, it's Zyris, that's a new name, Zyris, Zyris.com. And that's it. Thank you.